Hello everybody, my name is Frigid Hyperion and welcome back to the Wild of Wildemount campaign. Today we will be doing session 46 and this is part 1. With me today I have Dawn playing as Soren, Rocky playing as Edward, I am playing as Moonzik, and Kale is playing as Brine. And with a very important announcement is our always powerful, ever so knowledgeable Emily, our DM.
This with internet connection.
With internet connection.
Big thank you to our newest sponsor. That's right, Describe. We've been using Describe for several months now and have loved every moment of it. You can now use coupon code WOW at checkout for 10% off your first month's subscription payment. I personally, as I'm sure you all know, am a huge fan of their Sonic library, which has hundreds of high-quality ambiances, SFX effects, wow, and even mood music, like the one we're listening to right now, which are written and produced by Michael Gelfi Studios. Big fan of Michael Gelfi. Even before we were using Describe and we were using Spotify and YouTube, I was in fact using the ambiances that were written by Michael Gelfi because they're just that good. And to have that collaboration with Describe, it's like a dream come true, genuinely. I can't give enough praise to how much I love Describe. I use it so often, especially their Sonic library, that sometimes even when I'm playing other games outside of D&D, like for example Minecraft, I will put on the ambiance or music that fits the theme of the build that I'm making to help set the mood and make the game more enjoyable. Even though it's not even at all designed for that. That's just genuinely how much I love Describe. And if the Sonic library isn't enough for you, they have a talented team of writers that have composed beautiful box text, many of which you have heard me use in our games. That basically you can pull up with a click of a button, whether for inspiration or to draw your players into the moment and make it just that much more immersive. Describe has you covered. In addition, another feature that I absolutely love is Describe's dozens of crafted custom maps, each with box text that you can share with your players as you're entering a dungeon or at a crossroad. For example, one of their maps that we have actually used in the past here is this crossroad. As I was describing the scene for this specific crossroad, this is a map that was provided by Describe. In addition, the cave that we went to and explored. That again, all of those maps are put out by Describe, with each room having little descriptors to really help immerse the players and make it that much more interesting. Another one of my favorite things about Describe is their incredibly active Discord server with their weekly writing improv sessions, so that you can, as a DM, you can surround yourself with other players and DMs who want to take their game to the next level. If all of this sounds any at all interesting to you, go to www.describe.com/wow and use WOW at checkout for 10% off your first month's subscription payment. Or it even applies to yearly as well. So if you do want to go with the yearly option, it's still 10% off, which is pretty fucking cool if I don't say so myself. But with that, I'm gonna pass this off to Brian, who has a little bit of an announcement for us. Well, a recap, I should say.
Well, welcome back, guys. Feels like it's been a while. Not sure why. It's been like 5 minutes, but what are we doing today? Well, last time we got a bunch of mail. That was interesting. We basically got asked to run around the whole city of Nicodranas to make sure we had the opportunity to do the things we needed to do. We got an invite to the interrogation of the assassin that we brought. We got a quest asking us to look, do a wellness check on an old retired adventurer. And, I've got a very important test coming up, which is why I'm a little scatterbrained right now. I've got so many things to study. Alright. But first, we should probably, just make sure everything's okay.
Well, we did leave out the parts where it's actually 2 different adventurers we're doing a wellness check on.
Was it?
Yep, one of them lives in a village an hour outside of Nicodranas. The other one lives in a house just outside the walls of Nicodranas.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I was a little distracted.
Well, you've got a lot to study for. It's no problem.
So, where was the first guy?
So,
We've got the address, right?
We've got the address, and I would imagine it wouldn't be a bad idea to go check it out tonight, just so we have a head start.
Well, we should do it as fast as possible.
Right.
It's only what? PM, what time is it?
Afternoon, it's starting to bridge into evening, but still plenty of sunlight left.
It's only the afternoon. It's just a wellness check, right? We should do both. Longer you wait, more likely you don't find them if they are missing, right?
Exactly.
That's how that works.
Let's
Then,
head to the address.
As you all begin making your way to Flynn's home address, you're all heading to the south side of the city. This music's a little creepy.
I was gonna say, this ambiance change, I don't like it.
I love this ambiance change. Let's keep going with it.
Ambience change is brought to you by Describe.
Yeah, the ambiance change is brought to you by Describe. You all make your way to Taergyn Flynn's house, just on the south side of Nicodranas, to investigate his lack of appearance at the meeting. Wandering through the city streets, you eventually make your way out to the outskirts. You see the thinning density as you reach the lower half of the city. Eventually, you make it to Flynn's abode. It's quiet in this area. You notice you've seen a couple of people in their carts and on horses making their way to go about their business, but compared to the hustle and bustle of the city proper, It is quiet. Though, as you approach the townhouse, it does appear to be rather large, with clear windows and manicured bushes, presenting this like posh face to the front of it as you approach. Definitely worthy of a lifelong adventurer. You see off to the side there seems to be a small building that holds servants' quarters on the north side of the property. As you glance up your eyes to the top of the townhouse, there appears to be a second floor constructed of wood and also with many a window. Uh,
Posh house.
the house is as quiet as the neighborhood surrounding it. Certain.
Well, should we just go and knock on the door? I don't want to.
That's the
You
first
know.
step of anything, right?
Unless you're, unless you have ill intent, in
Ugh.
which case you just break down the door.
Well, let's not break down the door, especially given he seems to be a fairly
A
well-off
house call,
adventurer.
at least be courteous.
Right.
I'm just gonna be, like, as we do this, looking through the windows, see if I see, like, shadows moving, anything like that.
See if you
No
see like a
movement to the
token
side.
of like a monster.
Edward, you see on the south side, as you kind of glance into the room, it appears to be some sort of alchemical laboratory. Just glancing in. The other two of
I
you
see this is a man of culture
you
who
glance
has
into
respect for
a
the disciplines of the academic field.
you glance
Good.
in through the windows to a rather spacious foyer.
Very nice house indeed.
Hello? Is there anyone here?
Giving a quick knock at the front door, shouting out. Brian, before you had said that you're keeping an eye out, right? Looking for anything
Mhm.
strange or out of the ordinary. Go ahead and roll me a perception check then.
Check. Perception, submit.
With a
It should not be
21,
advantage.
21.
21 anyway.
21.
with with a 21, you hear a very faint rhythmic tapping from somewhere deep inside the house. It's again very faint, but you do hear it. There is movement.
I hear something. That's good, right?
We can at least...
Maybe they're
Yeah.
just coming to the door. No. Rhythmic tapping sounds like they could be coming to the door. Let's just wait here.
Moments pass. A little bit longer. Nobody's coming to this door.
Is it rhythmic or is it in a pattern?
It's rhythmic but no pattern.
I'm gonna try the door.
Trying the door, you find it
Yep.
Is it
unlocked.
locked?
Oh.
Okay. Well, we're coming in now. A couple friends of yours asked us to check up on you.
Pardon the intrusion.
Dusts off the shoes before she enters.
As
Despite
Yeah.
being in full armor.
you
Despite
see
being
you see expensive furniture and the painted wooden doors of this room look normal, undisturbed from what you would typically assume.
I'm just going to run a finger along. Is this like a coffee table?
Oh, that's a rug.
Okay. I'm just gonna, like, just strolling past whatever this is, just gonna run a finger along it.
No dust.
So,
Somebody was here recently.
very clean, very well kept.
Hmm.
Even in the corners, as you kind of look about, definitely no signs, obviously apparent of disuse.
Brian's gonna shut the book that she's been studying from, and she's gonna open up her tome. She's just gonna start ritual casting Detect Magic.
Absolutely.
While she's doing that, he's going to call out, Taergyn Flynn, if you can hear us, please let us know.
Having had that pointed out rhythmic tapping, you do hear it once again. Edward, you open up the door, the southern door, and you find yourself in a museum of sorts, a tasteful menagerie of what you assume is Flynn's travels and victories. Pack this large room. Paintings and memorabilia fill all around it. There's a large display case with a prominent lock lying in the center of the room. And as you glance about, you can see your eyes catch a fine painting of Flynn and his 4 adventuring friends that hang on the eastern wall. Behind which, obviously, is a staircase that rises to the second floor. So right here, basically. Oh, right here.
I'm gonna take the stairs up to the second floor.
Why don't we wait for the whole party?
Yeah, fair
So I don't
enough.
have to separate you all, if that makes
I'm
sense.
just
So if everybody would like to roll the second floor, that's great. But
Brian's just gonna open a couple doors, double check. We shouldn't. Brian doesn't want to end any place with her back turned, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
absolutely. So with that in mind, which door do you peer into first?
The one that seems to have a pool table.
Okay. You glance into what appears to be a gaming room, a dining gaming room, something along those lines. There's a large oval dining table. There's a full-size billiards table, right? That looks rather comfy, and some soft padded chairs. You see, just to your right, there's a rack of expensive pool sticks um, hanging up on the wall. This room, again, you just passively notice that it also looks really clean and well kept. You do, however, see a door at the far end, as well as to the door to your right.
Checking in the door to my right before we do anything else.
Going through the door to your right, you come across what you assume it would be a sunroom. There's that large bay window that's facing east. This place is wonderful, ideal for sitting down, enjoying breakfast, or reading in the sun. Uh, there is, however, you notice a thin wooden panel that separates the room from what you now know is the museum to the south. As you kind of glance at the wall, it does seem to fold into a small little nook. There's a door that, when you glance through the window, leads to a patio outside with some really brightly colored flowers and a fireplace. Moonzik, as you open up the door in the museum, you see a secluded area, one that you assume is to some very fine-looking outhouses. Two nice tall hedges that seclude the area and make it private and cozy. A comfortable place to take a shit.
He's going to promptly walk back in and close the door.
While you're opening doors, you do see a door to the south. What you presume, Edward, is probably the lab from before. Soren, what are you doing?
Soren's gonna be probably checking the door to see if there's any what is it? Any like signs of forced entry or any signs of anything that would suggest somebody entering forcefully at all.
Let me immediately, you know, the door doesn't have any signs of forced entry. But roll me an investigation check because I like the idea that you're going for. It's gonna be a fairly low DC. Oh, even better.
19.
You do, however, notice that the windows are locked,
But the door isn't.
but the door is not. This is interesting to you. You would assume a place of this nice, if nobody is in fact home, would normally keep things under lock and key. I mean, clearly the windows are. They don't want intruders like yourselves.
We're not intruders. We're doing a house call.
Well, intruding.
So it does strike you as a little odd.
Okay. He's gonna continue looking. He's not gonna like go into depth, like digging through like chair cushions or anything, but he's just gonna kind of look around a little bit to see if there's any sign of anything that might have happened or any sign of where this guy might have went.
The furniture in this area is fine. Genuinely. It is high quality, well designed, rich furniture. That has been immaculately taken care of. In fact, so much so, it feels unnerving, maybe, for somebody who's maybe not used to the level of cleanliness and spotlessness. Whoever the servants are here must take pride in their work. Edward, you open the southernmost door and find yourself peering into a alchemical laboratory. This laboratory has bright windows that line almost basically the entire exterior. It illuminates row after row of shelves stocked with what you immediately know is chemical reagents, minerals, metals, creature parts. You do, however, notice as you walk in, about here. No, excuse me, about here. I'm mispinged. There is a wooden attic door that seems to be remaining closed on the ceiling. You see a small little dangling pole string, perfectly still. And you notice as you glance across that there are tables that take up space here. In fact, there's so many tables. This is clearly more. This is enough space for more than one alchemist to do their work.
the dangling ceiling attic board, I can cast a mage hand and sort of pull that down, right?
If you would like to, absolutely.
I'm gonna pull that down with a mage hand.
Okay. As you pull down as you pull the string to the door with your mage hand, you you have this split moment as there's some sort of explosion, a clattering of jars filled with something that you can only describe as a sonic boom. I need you and Moonzik to make. Well, I guess you would be the only one to make a dexterity save. It goes in a 10-foot radius. So from here,
Oh.
yeah. So it'd just be you. With
17.
That's pretty good.
with
Half
a
damage, I'm assuming.
17, yeah. You are going to take half damage for 6 points, because it's 12 points of sonic damage, reduced to half, for 6 points of sonic damage, and you are temporarily deafened from the loud. You and Moonzik are temporarily deafened from the loud banging of some sort of sonic boom that happened as the jars of something clattered to the ground. Reeling yourself back and blinking away the deafness, you see that immediately there seems to be, it had to have been at least a dozen jars that had fallen and shattered. Onto the ground, causing this commotion.
Ah! Oh,
Right.
what was that?
Hearing this, I'm gonna
Edward.
rush over.
Edward, are you okay?
What?
What happened?
Are you what?
What? There was a loud boom, I think.
What?
What? You said something?
I'm just gonna run over. Like, are you two okay?
I
What?
can't hear you.
As the ringing begins to fade, you're able to see your compatriots and hear the words that they are saying.
Oh, oh, wait, hang on. It's starting to come back to me now. Brian, say something for me.
You all right? What happened? What did you do?
Edward pulled down the drawstring, what we assumed was some kind of maybe hidden compartment, and out came these jars that crashed in the ground, and I'm guessing it was some sort of security measure, maybe. It would seem reckless just to leave, jaws on the top of an attic door.
It's as if it was sort of a booby trap specifically set up for unassuming guests wandering in places they shouldn't be. I mean, in their defense,
If there's
it worked.
anywhere we shouldn't go, that it feels like it was weirdly set up.
We probably don't
mean,
need to go any further.
If you think about it,
We probably need to go there.
I mean, if my logic is if somebody specifically set up a booby trap like this, in a house, nobody in that particular residence would set up something this dangerous in order to, shut off a particular place in the house. I feel like it was set by somebody else with malicious intent. Nobody living in their own residence would trap their house like that.
Not only does such a large effect like that seem unlikely to be set by the owner, but clearly this place is routinely cleaned by some servants, and has been done so recently.
Right. Hang on. Are you?
Why would you set up a trap like this that could hurt one of them?
Moonzik wants to. The attic door has stairs leading upward, right?
Yeah, it has a ladder that you can climb up
He
right here.
Moonzik wants to check for dust on the ladder, or at least,
Okay,
or
go
like
ahead
it.
and roll me.
Yeah,
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check, because I think that's what you're going for here.
yeah, like dust particles that were like freshly disturbed, or if there's any remaining dust on the ladder. Yeah.
So as you notice as you approach the ladder, it's pretty difficult to get much more specifics considering all of the jars that had crashed to the ground, producing that terrible sonic boom that you had experienced. Um, it is it is a it is difficult to tell with the debris from the shattered glass and jars. I mean, as you can
If I
tell, it looks as clean as everything else. Well,
are there like any labels on the shattered glass? If I mend the shattered glass, would that sort of restore the jar so that I can like read the label on it or
it
anything?
would.
I'm gonna cast mending.
Okay. You spend the next few moments casting mending, about a minute or so. Uh, as you mend them together, you see that these jars contain an alchemical substance. At least you presume that that is more of a gas than anything else. Uh, they
I
are
guess so.
called burst jars, which uh, you gather are something that might have been pretty useful in Flynn's adventuring.
Well,
The fact
Oh.
that there was at least a dozen of them, oof. But yes, these are burst jars.
Soren, do you think I could get like a simple first level cure wounds?
I'd rather not waste a spell slot so early on, but yeah. I mean, we don't know what we're up against. It's best to have everybody at top shape.
Absolutely.
Well, I forgot I have to choose what level.
Oh, thank you.
Um. Hmm. My.
You hear that knocking from before, with the opening of this, seems to be a bit louder.
Whatever that knocking is, it's coming from up there. Do you think we should pursue it?
Taergyn,
Only
Obviously, with
lead.
caution.
Really is our only lead.
Taergyn, if you can hear us and that is you tapping, tap if we need to come up up the attic stairs.
You wait for with bated breath. And once again, you hear that knocking.
Okay. Well, I'll take the lead on it then.
Okay.
Let's try it.
How's that detect magic coming along? 2 minutes progress, I'm assuming?
Oh, you. I will say that you have finished it because we started doing other things.
All right. Detect magic is up. What do I see?
You see several magical energies, coming from,
The
the
alchemical lab
museum
full of
room.
magical ingredients.
Yeah, it's coming from the museum room. In addition to the shelves that line the alchemical lab, and something from up above you, up the ladder.
Oh,
Um,
there's something magical up there.
I'll be careful.
Shall we proceed with utmost caution?
making your way up to the second story. You find yourself in a room, obviously. Um, this study that you have entered has clearly been ransacked. Papers and inkwells have been thrown about the room. A large wooden cabinet lays on its back. Its closed doors facing the ceiling. Um, and a window on the east side has even been broken out. The west wall, you see, has a large tinted window overlooking the alchemy lab. And inside that fallen cabinet, you hear once again the knocking.
Is there anything, Brian? Is there anything magical coming from that cabinet?
Indeed, there is something. It's not a school of magic, but it's something.
It's just a magical
Person of
energy.
magic?
You said that the doors
God, I
to the cabinet are
dislike-
facing upward?
Yeah.
Well, if it's not a particular school of magic, I would assume that
let's back up. All right. I
that's a good
really
call. I'll
don't
do it
want
with
to
Mage
deal
Hand.
with a mimic, and I'm going to try and open it with Mage Hand. After
Okay.
everybody backs up from this, wherever it is.
I'm gonna hold an action to grab it and drag it out the window and just toss it out the window in case it's a mimic.
Please don't try and grab a mimic. That sounds like a horrible idea.
Okay,
It's a held
so
action.
Okay.
your
You're
held
responsible
action
for the
is
mimic.
to grab it and throw it out the window.
Yeah.
If it is a mimic, right?
Yes.
He wants to attempt to grapple a mimic. Okay.
Um,
Our wizard, everybody.
Throwing mimics out windows since right now.
Throwing
suddenly,
mimics everywhere.
um, in a flurry, as you open up the cabinet with your mage hand, immediately, some troublesome demons, you think, begin to fly and flutter about the room, attacking. Let me just.
I grab the captain as a reaction and toss it out the window. Or does it
I
have
mean,
wings?
we said if it was a mimic. This is not a mimic, but
You're
they are
right, it's
already
not
out of the
that
room. So,
Right.
give me just a second.
Oh, hey.
Can you guys
Probably.
see things, or
I'm sorry.
Ah,
can you guys see things, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
oh, I'm pitch black right now.
I see 3 demons.
Move your token a little bit.
I don't. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say
I
don't know
didn't
where
give
my
you
token
vision,
is.
apparently.
Soren is blinded, and
Soren needs a torch.
Soren needs a torch.
Why would I need a torch?
So
I
if I
thought-
could please have everybody roll initiative.
What if I don't
Nice.
wanna?
Okay, well I'm gonna do that again because it didn't assign an initiative counter.
I mean,
I'm gonna roll the exact same thing.
you can just.
I'm gonna roll the
you can literally
exact
just
same
type it into the turn tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know.
It's fine.
Okay.
Um,
Whatever.
given your held action, Edward, it is your turn first. You see around you fluttering demons with spines protruding out of their back and their tail, appearing to want to bite and charge.
And you said these demons don't have wings. Do they have wings?
They do.
Are they capable of flight?
They flutter.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right. They do have wings. There goes my throwing out the window idea. I'm going to. I can move like here without. No, that does trigger an opportunity attack.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna free action. I'm gonna take out a jar of flour and I'm going to catapult it this way. So these two demons are intercepted with the
Okay.
deck save.
Dex save, you said?
Deck save.
Okay, first one, 12.
That fails.
Okay, roll your damage.
Damage.
And it's a flour jar, so blinded for a turn? Or how
Sure,
does...
I like that. Go ahead.
Alright, 15 bludgeoning plus blindness for a turn. And flammable, I'm assuming.
No, that's not how that works.
No, flour isn't
Yeah, you're
really
I'll take
Oh.
the blindness.
flammable.
Anything powdered is flammable, but what you're thinking of doesn't
Is-
work because you. Yeah, I'll go into the mechanics of that at a later point, not during the middle of the fight.
I'm trying to squeeze it. Okay, yeah, blinded for a turn. I'll take it. That's already a win.
Okay. And takes 15, you said?
15. Yeah, bludgeoning.
That's a good amount of damage.
Yes, it is. You see as the jar whips across, smacking them right into the face. Dust and flour erupts out, and you hear a screeching from these creatures.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna end my turn. Since he's blinded, I'm gonna... Oh wait, no. This one's not blinded. That does still trigger an attack. Yeah, I'm just gonna end my turn.
Okay, Brian, it is your turn.
Pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
I'm gonna use one of my Tentacle of the Deep summons to just stick it right here.
Go ahead and drag that out.
And I'm gonna focus fire on the blinded one until it's either dead or something changes. So Tentacle of the Deep first with bonus action.
Okay.
So it takes 2 damage and is slowed by 10 feet.
Oh.
Not that there's 10 feet to move.
Technically, you can roll for
Eldritch
a
Blast should actually be advantage, but so I'm just gonna roll this twice.
Eldritch Blast within 5 feet impose disadvantage, so it's neutral roll. You
Oh.
can move 5 feet away to remove that.
I
if
don't
you
want to
want.
take an opportunity attack, so it's just
There
the
is
first one.
opportunity attack.
16 to attack, 12 to
He can't-
damage.
He's blinded, so he can't take an opportunity attack.
I thought he
Just-
could.
Yeah, it's at disadvantage.
It's at disadvantage.
Emily.
Yes.
I just made my 2 attack rolls because I don't want to deal with that, and I want to do this quickly and continue playing the game. 16 to attack.
16 hits.
That's 12 damage,
Okay.
and push back 10 feet, so the second one is at advantage.
Okay. Additionally, with that, how do you want to do it? as you aim your Eldritch Blast and blast it back into an already fallen shelf in this room.
Just quick fire, basically. She's already turning with her second Eldritch Blast because I get to choose my targets. Eldritch Blast here. Since that was with advantage, the 19 is going to be my to hit,
Okay.
and the 10 damage.
Okay.
And he'll just get rammed into the wall.
Fantastic. Anything else for your turn?
I can do no more.
Alrighty. This guy is dead. Moonsick, it is your turn.
Good riddance.
Moonsick's going to... I think I'm going to have him move up here. and I'm going to have him take on this demon here at full health. He's going to open up with Grudge.
Okay.
23 to hit
23 hits.
for 8 damage.
Okay.
Sneak attack.
I don't have advantage.
Do you have an ally standing within 5 feet of it?
That's no. It had.
Actually, no, he's got a point. No, it's not about advantage. It's about the other conditions of sneak attack.
Oh.
Right. Somebody else is standing within 5 feet. Yeah.
That's a heavy
Man.
sneak attack. That's 21 damage.
Sneak
Yeah, it is.
attack. That's
Alrighty.
pretty-
Nice job.
And then I will attack again with Ghost Eye.
Hell yeah. 16 hits.
16 hits. That is another 6 damage, so 27 total.
You see he's looking pretty injured. Screeching.
All right.
Alright, Soren, it is your turn.
Soren's just going to. Yeah, you know what? Soren's just gonna. He can see the one that's Moonzik hit, correct? Moonzik's not fully blocking it.
Yeah.
He's going to cast Produce Flame.
Okay. Do you have to make a dexterity saving throw?
It's an attack roll, I believe.
What? Yeah, it is an
Oh,
attack roll.
attack roll?
Does a 14
Oh,
hit?
Yeah.
14 misses.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Okay. It's this spine devil's turn. And he is going to use Flyby. And is going to fly above your heads and out the broken window to where he is then going to... I need to double check to make sure I have this right.
Yep.
You can fly 40 feet, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 40, and as he does so, he is going to use his multi-attack, and 2 with his tail spines on 1 on Edward and 1 on Brian.
Oh,
As it flies by, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as it's like flying out the window.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's gonna be
Alright,
a 21 to hit you, Edward.
That hits.
Fantastic. It's going to do 6
And?
piercing damage, and you
Fire
see-
damage is reduced to half.
Yep. And you see
8.
a
And as a reaction, before you take the damage, I'm going to roll my 1d8 for interposing tentacle
okay.
to reduce the damage you take. So you also take 4 less than whatever you were going to take.
I'll take 4.
Okay. Then it is going to attack you, Brian, with its other tail spine with a crit.
Oh,
And of course,
crit.
it crit.
I silvery barbs that? I'm gonna silvery barbs that.
You're gonna silvery barbs that, and it's a 17.
No.
yes.
It's silvery barbs means it has to roll one more time.
Oh yeah.
It
It
technically
did.
wasn't
Technically
supposed
did.
to roll with it.
Because it's
It
not
did.
rolling at advantage. It.
I just have it
Just
auto
get
set.
damage
Yeah.
buggy.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
It's just like how you did.
17 doesn't hit anyway.
Okay. Then
Alright,
it
good
just
to know.
hits. And with its bonus action, it is going to go invisible.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's a little one.
I saw where it ended, right?
Well, you saw
Okay.
in the direction it was flying, but yeah.
Okay.
Again, I moved it there, but it did do these attacks as it was flying away.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it has to go invisible after it attacked me. So, I know generally where it is.
Yeah. It's the other Spine Devil's turn, and he is also going to use his flyby and is going to make his way out the window. As he does so, he is going to hit you both again with 1 to each with the tail spine. With
That's another
crit.
Come on.
Oh,
Come
First
on.
one's going to be on Edward.
Okay, that hit.
well.
I got nothing left.
For
Fire damage is reduced.
fire
That's
damage is
4 fire,
reduced.
8 piercing.
Yep.
Alright, yeah, 4 fire, 8 piercing.
And then he's going to use his other tail spine attack to get you, Brian. For 12, I assume misses. He is
Does not
going
hit.
to turn invisible and use the rest of his movement.
Oh hell, that's not good.
Where did he go? What if I just fireballed the entire outside? It's gotta hit, right?
That is a bad
That is
idea.
a bad
I know,
idea.
but I'm a wizard.
And they're probably immune to fire.
They're resistant to fire.
Yeah, but the hedges in the house aren't.
You're
Yeah.
right.
And I am
Also,
not.
Why is my health 23 according to maximum 23 according to this, but I know it's 41 according to
Did you
literally
accidentally
everything I
reduce
have.
your maximum HP instead of your current HP?
Nope. My current HP and maximum are normal. It's just weird. I don't even know where it's grabbing 23 from, to be honest.
I can fix
Take
it.
it back.
What is your maximum hit points?
41.
41. What's your AC?
19.
It still has your. It must be an old one because your AC was set as 13. And
Brian
what are
didn't
you,
take any damage, right?
you haven't taken any
My
damage,
current
right?
is 41, yeah.
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 There you go.
I'm gonna do something real dumb on my turn.
Fantastic. It
I
is
love
Edward's
dumb.
turn.
I mean, what?
It is Edward's turn. You're right.
Yes.
Edward does not have detect magic up, so he can't actually see invisible things right now. He's going to throw like a produce flame in the last visible location of the Spine Devil.
Okay.
Yeah. not like.
Given what you best you can, you will have disadvantage.
Okay. I'll roll it again.
16 hits.
Yay!
Hit. Okay, I'll take it. 6 fire damage since we're taking the first one. Reduced
Okay.
down to 3, or is it? No,
Assuming we don't
don't know.
actually know.
I don't know. Okay, I hit it with fire.
I just devils.
Yeah.
Yeah, bonus action. I still have that mage hand, right?
Yeah.
I didn't technically drop the mage hand token. Where's the mage hand token? There it is. Bonus action, mage hand. I'm gonna move it 15 feet. This technically says 16.1, right? But
Just because you just have to align it.
close enough. And I'm gonna basically, like, grip onto this invisible thing with the mage hand. Is that possible?
Given that you just hit it, yeah, I would say it's possible to. Man, this is a tough one.
Well,
I think
mage
this
hand is
not.
visible, but the creature's invisible.
I will say that I think it's beyond the capabilities of a bonus action in this scenario.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Then I'll just move the mage hand to the location.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So
And
quick,
for my movement, I'm gonna move back.
Okay. Brian.
That's my turn.
I do have detect magic up, so I should know actually exactly where they are, even if I don't have a very good indication of their general shape, given glowing stuff.
You just see glowing
I
magic.
still have disadvantage. I just want to know where they are.
Yeah, you still have disadvantage. and they are. Oh, I'm on the GM layer. You get the vague sense that they are here and here. Where?
Here and here.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spells. Okay. Da, da, da. I'm just gonna do this. In deep speech, Brian is gonna shout out, "The Dark Void knows where you are.
Ooh.
You cannot escape." And a sphere of blackness, 20 feet in radius, centered on this point, so it'll catch both of them, is going to open up as I cast Hunger of Hadar.
There it is.
There it is.
Star into chat, please.
Tentacle time.
This is the return of Hungry Hungry Brambles, except we don't have the brambles right now.
You can't really make floating brambles.
No, I know.
Flying
I
really ignores
I
brambles.
can put them on us.
No! Why? No! The fuck out of here!
Okay.
And Brian is going to teleport onto the ground beneath the sphere, just outside of its range. And she's going to look to see basically if dead demons drop out, or just keep an eye out with detect magic to see where one might be going.
Okay. Moonstick, it's your turn.
Shit. He's gonna run up to the window when he's... Brian said they were going towards one of the sources right now?
Currently, this
Not
this
me.
area is completely black.
Oof.
So you can't see into it. Right?
Moonsick will then ready in action, I guess. He's gonna draw his short bow and he's just gonna prepare to fire at either a place that Brian indicates or if he sees one of the demons.
Okay. Soren, it's your turn.
Having seen them go invisible, would you say that they could possibly be 20 feet apart or more?
Given the location of Brian's Hunger of Hadar, which is a bit, I guess I should make a sphere, huh? Wait a second.
It's also hard because it's a 3D plane, and I'm specifically below said 3D plane.
This area, I believe, right?
Circle of death.
So it's bigger than that, because it's
Oh
20 feet radius. So basically to there and down to here, and almost the entire window is actually blocked out.
Yep. It's a big circle of death and tentacles.
And you can just barely see Brian on the ground
No, you can't see Brian on the ground because the whole area is completely obscured, and it says in the air, and you are in the ground. So no, you
Obscured.
cannot see Brian on the ground. You just saw Brian teleport.
I can. Okay.
How high up are we?
Second story.
Shoot. I don't think I have much I can do here. I suppose. Soren, I guess. God, I don't know what to do.
The situation's a
I
little
mean, there's no
tough.
shame in just taking a dodge action and ending the turn, right?
Well, there's a few things I can do, but I don't think I should do them. So yeah, I guess I will
Or you
just take the
dodge
dodge
mode.
action.
Fucking map. My God. Taking the dodge action.
What?
Okay, it's this Spine Devil's turn at the top of the turn. It's going to
Take
take
2d6
2d6
damage.
cold damage. Go ahead and roll 2d6. And I'll use it for both of their turns.
Most important 2d6 you will ever see.
Max damage!
8.
Just 2 4s. 8 damage of tentacle
Averagely high.
Average damage!
High on the end of average, but average.
And given that you guys can't see anything, that's the end of its turn. And that's for
Did
both
it
of
end
them.
its turn in the like the sphere?
You don't know for certain.
It also has half movement just in case.
Yep.
Wait, half movement.
It is considered difficult terrain. The entirety
You're right.
of the sphere. It's not just on the ground.
Yeah.
Brian, you would
so-
actually. Hello, hold on.
Okay.
You would actually know and sense with your
Detect magic.
detect magic that indeed this creature did fly out of the range, and it is even with half movement in the range. It is flying away very, very far. It is currently not able to be on the map at the moment.
Okay. And the other one, did the other one, the one that was really low, drop dead?
The other one, I haven't gotten to that turn yet. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on.
Okay. Yep.
So but yeah, the Spine Devil seems to have flown well beyond your range of detect magic. The other one needs to make nothing. Starts its turn. 8. Still outright kills it. Wait, hold on. How does double reduction work?
It doesn't.
Damage resistance doesn't stack.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So, but what I mean is,
If there's a source that reduces damage and there's also a resistance to that damage, it does stack. But if it's like you resist, like if 2 sources resist the same damage type, they don't stack.
Also, if it's like, hey, this is reduced by 3 damage and you have resistance, the 3 damage goes first.
Yeah. In that case, you see the creature from before, the injured one. Come on, fucking just type. Ugh. Falls to the ground, dead.
Okay. I'm gonna drop concentration. Knowing that nothing's in it anymore, and only one of them's dead. I assume it's Edward's turn?
It is Edward's turn if you would like to take it.
He's not within 30 feet of me, right?
The creature, no.
Then he's not my
I mean, as
problem.
far as you know, the creature has just disappeared.
Yep,
It's
then
invisible.
he's not my problem. I take a dodge action and I end my turn.
Okay. Then
Okay. DM,
what?
I have a chance. I saw which direction he was flying, right?
You
Yeah, you can
do,
Eldritch
but
Blast.
I mean, go ahead and tell me what you're going to do. You did see the
I'm going
direction.
to run as far in that direction as I can.
What?
Okay.
If he
Well,
comes back into range,
you are currently in hedges. You teleport to the ground on top of an outhouse.
so
Hedges.
whatever jump slow effect happens, I'm gonna try and get this clear shot at the nothingness that
At
is
what range do you have? Is your Eldritch Blast?
120.
my Eldritch Blast is I'm just gonna double check this because I should know this, but it's pretty high.
It's 120.
120 feet.
There you go.
So this is
if
still within range.
you do not know that. Well, I guess it's not technically.
So
It
detect
is-
magic technically lasts 30 feet in radius around her, but the
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast is 120 feet. So technically you can reach it, but you can't see it if it's
I
out of your
can't
30
see it.
feet.
I know generally which direction it's been going. Right?
you generally have an idea, but
Which
it is
allows me to make an attack roll.
okay. Make an attack roll at disadvantage. I am giving it increased AC because
I am going
you are
to.
literally doing a shot in the dark.
I am. I'm gonna clutch the clockwork amulet.
I also just want to throw out that Moontic currently does have a held action.
It has not been seen.
It has not been redeemed,
But-
but it is held.
Okay.
Oh, I see. What he's saying is basically, I can shoot at whatever it looks like Brian is shooting at.
That's pretty fair.
I'm clutching the clockwork amulet and basically asking it to make this as precise a shot as possible, which means I force a 10. My modifier is a +9 to hit. That is a 19 to hit.
Okay.
Ooh. Does it hit?
Does it hit?
I guess I should have established how much increased AC it was.
Are we doing like partial or like half or 3/4 cover rulings, or what are we doing?
Yeah,
for
that's
this?
kind of what I was thinking, but I need to look up the rulings on cover.
Half color cover is +2 AC. Full cover is +5.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to decide if this would be considered full, if this would be considered like I think I'm gonna go 3/4 because it's like out of your vision range. You just have a vague idea.
Which case
3/4 cover 5e rules.
that's
That's a
+5 to
+5,
AC.
not it.
No?
No.
Okay.
Wump wump.
I do get a second shot, given it's Eldritch Blast, which is all at
have-
disadvantage.
You do have disadvantage. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Eldritch Blast. Number 1. It's an 11, so there's no way.
Nope.
As you angle your shots off into the distance, you do have a held action seeing her go. You did say if you had seen any. I am gonna be a little wendy bendy with the rules, Moonzik.
No, he said if he saw any, or I indicated where one might be.
Yeah, there you go. Either way, you can still.
You're shooting in a direction.
Yeah, go ahead. Make an attack.
Range on your
It's going to
bow.
be it's regular range is what the hell was it? But I know the disadvantage.
Even if it's on the maximum range,
The maximum
like
is
disadvantage
320.
so you can just treat it as a maximum range roll.
Basically.
So I am still gonna give it its increased AC for 3/4 cover.
That's okay. Disadvantage, short bow. 22!
22.
22 hits.
Yes!
22 hits. Let's go.
The marksman of God!
Let's go!
5 piercing damage.
Please tell me this kills it.
Oh, unfortunately, it does not kill it.
No!
But
I have a
Why is
question.
A little arrow sticking
It's
out of
a
the
little
sky.
arrow sticking out of it as it
I have a
flies
question.
away out of its range. What?
Technically, I think it was my turn next, correct? Question. Was that arrow metal?
Arrows
Heat
are
metal's
typically-
range is 30 feet.
They're typically wood.
Yeah, they're
You
typically.
could
It would be
technically
metal?
heat metal on an
No, it
arrowhead.
would not. No metal.
Damn it!
Oh,
Okay,
man.
Are we
never
still
mind
making arrows out of flint? What the hell?
Flint or just straight up wood would be pretty common.
Yeah, true. Wood is pretty common.
Fuck!
Yep. Even then, heat metal's range
Wait,
is
we
30
can-
feet. You wouldn't be able to heat it.
So we can see that arrow, right?
We can see that arrow.
Yeah, it's pretty
Do I
far away.
fuck it? Do I fuck it? I'm gonna say fuck it.
Oh no.
How far would you say? Is it more than 120 feet?
From your range, hold on. Let me pull up my freaking ruler.
Also, does guiding bolts mystical dim light make it visible, even if it's like
It would, yeah.
Can it
Yeah,
cancel
so
that?
it-
It lights up
I'm
anything.
not, man, but the thing is, I said it was off the screen. I only had it there to.
Yeah, that's why I'm just asking
Yeah,
if it's
here,
120.
It's 80. It's 80 feet away from you.
80 feet.
Yeah.
I would like to guiding bolt then at the arrow.
Okay.
Ooh.
Disadvantage.
No, it'd be regular, technically.
No, you can't see the target. You can see the arrow, right?
Wait, that was
It's a saving
I
throw.
rolled. Fuck,
That's
I
an
rolled it at
attack
level
roll.
1.
An attack roll.
Yes, it is. It is a saving throw though.
What?
No?
No,
No?
no, it isn't. What?
It's a
What am
ranged
I?
Spell attack. It's a ranged spell
No,
attack.
it's a yeah, it's a
No,
ranged spell
Don's being
attack.
sarcastic.
Oh,
He's
so
messing.
the spell save DC threw me off.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
no. It's an attack roll.
So I'm guessing 12 does not hit. Unfortunate.
No.
We are artificially extending the life of this combat.
Yeah,
I
seriously,
I
like,
want to
could've
kill
been
it.
over the
I
moon
want to
flew
kill
out.
it, and if
Could've
it's within
closed the
80
window
feet
and
of
called it
Dawn, and it makes it 40 feet, that's still within 120 feet.
No, it has 40 feet fly movement and it's dashing.
Okay.
So there's no need to. And I had and the fact that I even had it at 80 feet anyway was way artificial because I had specifically said that it flew out of the map range.
Damn it.
Because it did. That was far greater than, even with it, it still would travel out of the map range. So
Okay.
I was being flexible on that turn. I'm not going to go anymore.
Okay.
That's
Soren's just
fair.
gonna shrug it off.
I promise you, we're not motor hobos.
We're
Oh, you
Brian
might
is
not be.
watching. Brian is watching as that arrow gets farther and farther away.
damn it.
I wish it was metal.
Well, we did the best we could. I mean, this still gives us probable cause to believe that there's genuine trouble, given that no normal person would keep 3 demons locked in a cabinet in a ransacked laboratory.
Brian, are you going to stay down here by the outhouses, or are you going to come back up?
You know what? Give me a second. She's gonna push through all the like brush here, and she's just gonna make an investigation check, trying
Okay.
to see for tracks, drag marks, any sign of a struggle.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Okay, with a 18, you
Only for advantage.
glance around the outdoor area, and there doesn't appear to be any drag marks, anything strange. But I will say that it does. There is a eerie. There's an eerie quietness, and you can almost feel like you're missing something.
Should we examine that demon, see if it has any identifying markers, brands, or any indication of where it came from?
Probably not a bad idea.
And also, while we're at it, Soren, can I get a little bit more healing?
Question.
Probably you.
There is an effect on me.
Oh, that's
What's
just
the effect?
dodging.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. And he's going to here with baby. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better spam first levels over and over than, like, higher levels out of combat.
Depends on the situation, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna give him a pat on the back and heal him for 6.
I'm at 34 out of 45. I think another one would do. I'm sorry to impose, but the spine devil got me good.
That's a pretty nasty
You could
one.
see like a spine sticking out of his, like, wherever the crit was.
That's a pretty nasty injury, actually. It's surprising it didn't hurt you more than it did.
Eh.
As much as I would love to, I'm gonna wait a little bit on that. I am down to 1 spell slot
For
for
first
first
level?
level. Yes. So I'm going to just wait on that.
Wanna just make sure there's nothing else in any of the other rooms?
Working on it. Edward, you go ahead and look for identifying markers. I'm going to look in the next room.
Alright, I'm gonna mage hand open this door, because I ain't falling for that again. I'm gonna
Okay,
stay
so
15.
you need to pick what you're going to do. Are you going to investigate the demon, or what are you doing?
Oh yeah, I should probably investigate this one first.
Roll me an investigation check or a arcana.
Well.
Roll an investigation check.
Well,
With a 12, you come on. Why is it doing this? Okay. Nope, that's not what I needed. You see the spine devil in its sad flower covered form. There is nothing inherently obvious on it that would suggest as to why it is even here at all. But investigating the cabinet that these spine devils were in, it appears to be that they were looking for like they, excuse me, not looking. They were not locked, but were shut in it. Probably from the outside.
I would
Clearly,
hope
this
so.
is an
Somebody
evidence
on
of
the
struggle.
inside. They, based on the knocking that you know about and before, you would gather that they were put in there. Not, if that makes
Forcibly
sense.
put in. Yeah,
Yeah.
forcibly put. Clearly, this is a sign of a struggle. I mean, this entire place has been ransacked, so I would assume that something of value would be stored in this place before someone took it. At the last minute, we're able to make an escape with the Spine Devils on their pursuit, and we're able to thwart them by putting them into this cabinet. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
Hmm. Something I'm worried that the person we're here to help, Taergyn, might be not here. That's what I'm worried about. But we must keep
Do you think it
searching.
would? Do you think it would bode well to put on a protection spell from evil and good,
It wouldn't.
given the nature of our current threat?
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Soren?
Yeah, that's definitely wouldn't be a bad idea.
Do you have it
Soren,
prepared?
however, would like to remove some of the spines, or try to.
Okay. You remove some of the spines from the, or attempt to move the spines from the tail in particular.
Is that a crafting ingredient?
That's what I'm gonna find out.
Go ahead and roll me a nature check or an arcana check to remove these spines safely and to figure out their.
Could I wager survival for removing them safely, and just not get any background information on them?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
nat 20. First one of the session.
You safely, you safely, 12, that they did. That one didn't use any. So from that spine devil in particular, you gain 12 spined devil tail spines.
nice.
Say that 10 times fast.
12 spine devil tail spines.
Spine
I
devil
can't
tail
even do it.
spines.
Spine devil tail spines. Spine devil tail spines.
Would you like to take a crack at it, Edward? I'm not very good at identifying things, and he's going to hold one up for him.
Oh,
Carefully hold one up. That he will
Arcana?
not prick himself on it.
I'm pretty good at Arcana. I got a 24.
With your arcana check, you would gather that there are little in each of the spines. There is a channel that runs through them. Presumably where the effect of the flame goes through. The spines themselves are sharp. They do 1d4 plus 2 piercing damage. You'd probably be able to.
You are very muffled.
You'd probably be able to fire them out of a like a blowgun. You gather, but that the fire damage that comes from them actually stems from the spine devil itself, being mechanical in nature. If that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
So,
So you said
I-
what
1d4.
happened if I used catapult and fired it with a catapult?
Guys, I
instead?
really hate to interrupt. It is very likely that I'm going to lose power at some point during this session, given all the weather alerts for severe storms in the area, and everything I'm hearing outside.
Yeah, Mal said there was a tornado somewhere outside Ottawa.
Yeah. So, hopefully won't happen, but if I just disappear off the face of the earth, that's what happened to me.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
we'll say that you got stuck on the outhouse and was too afraid to
Whether
jump down.
whether or not you disconnect, stay safe.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll yell at the tornado. Tell them to get
Yeah.
off your property.
That's a Wisconsin thing. Fuck off.
Hippity hoppity, get the fuck off my property.
Alright, Soren, you can hold on to these spine devils for now. I want to at least get a little investigation. What is the contents of this laboratory? What were they looking into or researching, and what kind of information could this have that could help us on this investigation?
It
So-
could, but I think right now I think we should focus on making sure Taergyn's not here.
Facing the place would probably be the best idea.
I agree with casing. Brent's also, if this is allowed, she's gonna head back into the museum.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is this? Is this just like a supply closet then?
So I was getting to that point, but there's a lot of different things happening from different people.
Yes.
So as you open up this door, you see in front of you is a miscolored wall. It actually, upon closer investigation, looks like the backside of a painting, or more likely a mirror. It looks a little off skew.
If it's a mirror, Moonsick does not want to push it and just create more destruction, so he's
You
just gonna
see
back off.
that from this side, there appears it appears to be like affixed at the top. You should be able to move it over it, and like kind of it slides back. It
Oh, it slides.
swings back into place. Not slides, like it's on a hinge at the top.
Oh, okay.
So
So
you can
okay.
it kind of swings. If that makes sense.
They'll push it up then.
Open
So pushing
sesame.
it to the side, you're able to walk through, and you find yourself in a room. Was presumably a bedroom, a master
No.
bedroom.
Is that a bloodstain?
Flynn's private room, you can see here, that has been clearly turned over quite roughly. Signs of a struggle include a broken window. You can see to the side, very similar to the one you had previously seen in the other room. A displaced mattress, a broken chair, and of course, most obviously, a splatter of dried blood on the floor. Looking back around, you can see that there's that tall mirror that appears to have been a secret door that you came from the other side of.
Secret door or not, it seems like they were able to find their way into that study anyway.
Yeah.
How?
Should we continue investigating? This definitely confirms the suspicions that something happened here.
How fresh is the blood?
Go ahead and roll me a medicine check.
I want to make sure that it's on normal. Medicine I do not have in my hotbar. It is not something I do often, so. Hey!
23.
Okay. With a 23, you gather that this dried blood is probably a day old.
This was recent. Not recent by today, but it was only recent yesterday, it seems. When did his two friends arrive? Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday.
It seems like just as they arrived, he was attacked, or maybe right before they arrived. I don't know, but it was just bad timing all around. This does seem to be targeted, I would imagine.
I mean, we can't say for certain.
Are there any drag marks, or is it just a pool of blood.
Just
Or
a
smattering of blood.
pool of blood. There doesn't appear to be any drag marks, you notice.
It's interesting that there's no drag marks at all, so it's...
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand, and I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna back up here, and I'm gonna open this door. You might want to get out of the way, Moonzik.
I'm just gonna go off this way.
You open the door.
Yep. And...
Are you looking about the room for more signs, Runzik?
Yes.
Roll me an investigation check.
6.
Yeah. This room is pretty ransacked. You do,
I rolled
however,
investigation.
see that there is that desk in there. Like, you don't need anything too crazy to well, I should say I apologize. The desk is actually in this room. I mixed up my things. There's a desk. Yep, definitely a desk right there.
Definitely a desk.
While you guys are doing that, back on the other side here, Brian, what are you doing?
Brian's convinced that shit just got real, and that we might need to armor up. So she's gonna look into the museum for anything useful that maybe we could use to help in rescuing this person. You know, borrow to help rescuing him. Obviously, we're gonna give it back.
Yeah, but we just want to try the cool magic sword that's hanging on the wall. At
So
least one.
yeah, you look outside, inside through the museum. Obviously Flynn had cataloged his adventures over the years
And I
and
still
has
have Detect Magic up.
this I guess I never had you roll concentration checks, did I?
I never took damage.
Oh yeah, there you go. Never mind.
No.
But there's several alchemical discoveries, a couple of letters from adventurers, a few paintings, several archaeological artifacts, etc. There is one that you do notice, one area that has something of interest. There is a display in the center of the room on this table. I didn't put it on there because I'm lazy. Is a glass display, and inside of the display, you can see much older journals than the other ones around the room, and a variety of what looks like obscure artifacts. But most noticeably, you see a chalice that grabs your attention.
Looking at the chalice.
Are you opening up the case to look at it?
I am looking at the case before I do that with Detect Magic.
Okay. It does have a faint magical energy coming from it. Some sort of alchemical from nature.
Can I tell where the trigger is?
On the case, if you were to open it. And it's also coming from the chalice.
Oh ho.
Is there anything wrong with the wood?
Nothing from the wood, no. Okay, I do have a question. Would detect magic, does it like not how much, and I'm going to ask this question specifically to Edward. How much magic goes into alchemy?
I mean, this is something I would be asking the DM, but
But I want to talk this over with you. That's what I'm.
my base assumption is that alchemy is heavily related to magic that is related to transmutation, because alchemy is the study of, like, like change, right? Just like
Then there
it's
is
magical
then
chemistry.
there is transmutation magic coming from a mechanism inside of the case.
I'm gonna make an investigation check without moving the case to see if I can find where the trigger is.
Okay. Roll an investigation.
Basically, whatever would cause this to actually occur.
Okay.
Check. Investigation.
With a 18, you gather it's opening the case. There appears to be some sort of mechanism that releases some sort of liquid.
And is it like pressure that does that? Is it
Yeah,
like
it's mechanical in nature and is pressure.
I
Pressure
just
based.
found a soda stream.
in that case,
It's a chalice.
I'm going to take, what do I have on me?
Chalice is missing.
What's in my robe of useful items?
What do you mean? What's in it?
Well, I still have this old robe of useful items that just I believe I've got it in my notes. Got 2 of each basic patch. I've used some of them. Items. Ah, yes. I have a dagger patch.
Ooh.
I am going to take off the dagger patch, so... And... with that... I'm going to, use the dagger to make sure that I'm going to slip the dagger underneath the case so that pressure remains on the mechanism when I take off the case.
Okay. So, the disabled device DC is very high, so don't be surprised. This is clearly very important, and you already know that. But go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check.
Can I argue advantage because I know how it works?
Yeah, go ahead. You have advantage, but it is very high. This is what it's designed for.
7 is not very high.
As you
I have
you,
2.
12
is
is
not very
very
high.
It's not very high. Fuck me.
as you begin to like run your blade underneath the case and try to catch it, you notice that even just the width of the knife is enough to trigger this effect as a as a pressurized batch of liquid that shoots in your direction, forms into a blade. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, and I need to roll plus 15.
Con save? Not a
Yes.
dex?
Yep.
Fuck
Well,
me.
you're smelling, you're inhaling it.
1d20 plus.
Sorry, I very much might have misheard you. What did you say was happening?
Con
Con
save.
save is happening.
Con save is happening. What was the effect?
Oh.
You smelled something, and
Okay.
it was a second.
So,
You
Uh-oh.
stinky.
I think it's
yeah, I
better
know.
than
34 damage.
that.
Whoa, guys.
It was a very, again, I want to let you know that this was a very serious trap. As the liquid pressurizes and comes out and forms into a blade, it stabs you right in the abdomen. While you only take 1d, oh, sorry, 1d12 plus 4. While you only take 6 damage as the
And-
blade pierces into your abdomen, you feel for a second the world go woozy and you fall unconscious.
Ooh.
You are unconscious for one. Let me read it again. Oh, right. Hold on. I need to pull up the blue Winnis potion. Where is that? Blue Winnis potion. 1d3. So.
I imagine we hear all of this happening.
We'll
Not if
go
it was
I
in the
So
mind.
you are unconscious for 3 hours without being frozen or woken up by some sort of curing or restoration effect.
We at least see her, I imagine,
Hold on.
fall unconscious onto the floor, Edward.
Just a second before I go into what you guys
Sorry.
hear. I want her to have a second to process of a very serious trap that just happened.
Sorry.
Is this a magical effect? Is my only question.
It's poison.
Poison,
poison.
not magical sleep.
Correct. It is the blue. It's called, if you want to know, it's called the blue Winnis potion. You make a Constitution saving throw, and with it's a DC.
I'm surprised the blade didn't have to beat my AC, but
It did. I rolled it.
oh, okay.
1d20 plus 15, as it has a direct hit.
Jesus
This is a
Christ.
that's fair.
established. And I rolled a 19, so it was a total of 34. So
Okay.
that's how
Does a
that
34 hit?
particular trap I have pulled straight from a source.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just didn't realize it had rolled to hit. All right.
So, you are currently unconscious. The lot of you hear a huh! And a clatter on the ground on the floor beneath you all.
Brian?
Nothing.
What was that? Was that Brian?
I'd rather not stand around and find out.
Moonzik immediately moves to the ladder and climbs down.
Okay.
Word is gonna
And then they
follow.
follow.
Yeah, Soren's gonna follow.
Okay. Let me put you all on here.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
She's working on it.
My screen is all black again.
Just hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
Okay. There you go. As you walk into the room, after climbing down the ladder, you see Brian unconscious, the case open, a chalice sitting there, and and out of her abdomen a blade that you can see is, over the course of the time it took you to get down here, is slowly starting to melt once again.
What is that?
Magical
Can I make
trap.
a medicine check for that?
Go ahead and make a medicine check for her.
He's gonna rush up and kneel down and just kind of try and figure out what's going on. If it'll let me make a medicine check.
Can I use like a healer's kit to stabilize her?
Hold on a second. Let him do one thing at a time.
Sorry.
Okay. With as you run up to her and kneel down to see what's going on, you can clearly see that she has been poisoned, and is currently unconscious. While not dead, she is definitely unconscious from some sort of poisoned effect. You think some sort of lesser restoration, uh, cure poison, something along those lines, um, would rouse her, as your simple shaking doesn't seem to be doing enough. As you also glance at her wound, the blade that had jutted itself into her and kind of broken off with her fall, is again starting to melt once more.
Lauren, quick! You gotta heal her. She's been poisoned.
I'm getting to that. And he's gonna kind of snap a few times in front of her face and then cast Lister Restoration while that's happening.
Okay, go ahead and you cast Lesser Restoration. As you do so, Brian rouses from her position on the ground, and takes a gasp of breath as she sits up.
Who did this to you?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, by the way, when I go unconscious, do I 100% of the time lose concentration?
Yeah.
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 I figured, but it wasn't said there that immediately. Yeah.
Who did this?
I was just curious. It's my fault. Don't worry about it.
You curious about what?
That chalice there, it's probably not trapped anymore, given the nature of the trap involved.
You see that the case is in fact lifted open. And Edward, glancing at it, you notice first that there are these little. There's this tube that was kind of sitting inside of it, connected to some sort of mechanism, um, that has a bit more of that liquid pouring out of it. Just dripping out, I should say, not pouring.
I think we shouldn't mess with this for now. It seems kind of dangerous if it could knock somebody out just by mere exposure.
No, I'd agree with you, except I don't actually feel that bad. I mean, sure, I got stabbed, but it's already. She, like, rubs the wound. It didn't get very deep through the armor. And that's the only mechanism there, so. I'm just curious as to what the chalice is, and if perhaps it might have been the target, or it could help us find its owner.
How would a chalice like this find its owner? Is it sentient?
Maybe not, but if it's something that the other two could identify, it could give us a clue as to what happened and who's behind this.
I mean, do you want to sit here for the next 10 minutes while I identify it? Up to you guys.
Glancing about, there's plenty of things to explore while you're identifying.
I can go back upstairs the front way and actually see if there's anything else upstairs that maybe we overlooked.
Yeah, we should probably go back upstairs.
I feel like I missed something outside, but oh well.
Okay. So, just for clarification, Edward, are you going to identify this chalice?
Yeah, why not?
Over the next 10 minutes, you gather that this is a chalice of a communal dwemer. Once per day, a creature can pour a potion with a duration longer than instantaneous into the chalice, then drink it as an action that provokes an attack of opportunity. The bearer and up to 2 willing allies within 30 feet gain the benefits as though they had consumed the potion. However, the duration is divided evenly between all recipients, including the bearer, and rounded down to the nearest round number.
Oh my god.
So it's, yeah, you basically can drink the
Basically,
potion.
you drank it, and it was a poisoned potion that was supposed to make you fall asleep.
It's longer than instantaneous. Poison typically has an instantaneous effect. Some of them do, but more like, say, a potion of heroism.
Yeah. No, poisons don't have instantaneous effects. Poison, like anything that inflicts the poison condition, has a duration.
Right, but poison is different than the poisoned condition.
Yeah. So basically,
the-
somebody spiked this with poison, and next unwilling suspect in order to, interact with this thing.
No, you're misunderstanding what it is. This has nothing to the chalice has nothing to do with the condition that she was given. The chalice is a separate thing. Totally separate from the trap that was triggered.
Oh.
What the benefit of this chalice is a positive benefit that, say, you consume a potion of haste, right? You pour the potion of haste into the chalice, and the bearer drinks it and then chooses 2 friendly allies to also gain the effects of haste.
That's pretty good.
Okay, Well, I suppose this is a potion sharing apparatus.
Wait.
That lets you evenly divide the duration of potions onto up to 2 other people that you can share the potion with without actually consuming the entire 3 flasks to, apply the effect onto 3 wearers.
Was there a potion in there already, or is it just the chalice itself?
It's just the chalice. While he's spending 10 minutes figuring that information out, the rest of you, I assume, are looking about the museum.
Moonsick upstairs,
Yeah.
yeah.
Moonsick's upstairs. Okay, so I'm gonna start with who is in the museum. Nobody? Great.
No, I am still within the museum.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
also say.
Looking about the museum, the 2 of you find obscure again. So some obscure artifacts and whatnot. Nothing too specific, but are worth a total of 200 gold. If you wanted.
We're not burglars now. Put those back.
You're busy.
Oh, I mean,
Brian is taking a look around. Well, we're not here to rob the man. And I don't know if we have any potions that can actually make use of that to help us find him. It was a good thought,
Actually,
but
I do have an idea.
do you?
I have this.
Also clairvoyant.
Soren's gonna hold up a little vial that has a yellow liquid with an eyeball in it.
Oh,
I do
link
have
in
a
chat.
potion of clairvoyance.
Oh,
what would that allow
Oh.
us to do?
scrying.
We can give it to one of those other two, and they could use it to find their party member.
And bring them the chalice so that they could do it together.
Holy shit. That's a fucking play.
And with the chalice, we should check out the other missing person, because with the chalice, we can have them both look for both of them, so we can two birds with one stone.
People.
The person's not missing as of yet. He's in a home.
Well,
Yes, but we should make sure
in.
before we do this plan.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Let's we
I-
just remove the security on this, so
I do want to clarify, if you go into your magic items, the potion of clairvoyance is there.
Hmm.
The potion of clairvoyance works as you create an invisible sensor within range and a location familiar to you, excuse me. A place
Oh,
that
it's
you have
gonna
visited
okay, so it's not that.
before.
It's a place, not people. Fuck.
The sensor remains in
Yeah.
place for the duration and can't be attacked. Or
Damn
interrupted.
it.
Damn. That was a
Yeah,
good
it's
thought,
literally
though.
just like a bug or like a security camera that's invisible.
Okay, so that doesn't
Good
work the way we
thoughts.
thought
It's a
it was.
microphone slash, but like.
Okay, that doesn't work the way we thought it did. Okay, thank you.
Yep. One thing that you do have that would count for this is a potion of heroism, which basically lasts for 1 hour after drinking it. You gain 10 temporary hit points, and you are under the effect of the bless spell.
Hmm.
I don't remember who has it, but
Wind chime.
somebody. Also, there are other potions that are fantastic.
What if we
Such
put
as
sovereign blue and made
Silver
3 people
Above.
drink it?
The next time you see a creature within 10 minutes after drinking this, you can become charmed by that creature for an hour. If that creature is of the species and gender that you're normally attracted to, you're guarded with true love while you are charmed.
What if we put filter of love in there?
That's literally what she was just saying.
Yep.
You can also buy potions. There's plenty of uses for it.
Mm-hmm.
What it does not work for is healing potions.
Because that's instantaneous.
But regeneration potions, on the other hand.
That
That
Or
would work.
vitality potions.
Or a potion of vitality, yep. So, plenty of things that could be useful for. This
I
here,
don't have any potions on me that would be useful here.
but it could just be something you save for later.
In case we find a potion in this dungeon? Yes. We should probably go back and investigate more upstairs.
Actually, currently Moonzik is upstairs.
Already ahead of you.
Moonzik, what are you doing up here?
He's thinking that maybe coming up here and checking out the bedroom after having left and come back, he might have a better sense of clarity of what maybe he might be picking up on something that's out of the ordinary in such a well put together room that's undisturbed.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me an investigation. Well, actually, I will say, we already know about the desk from before.
Yeah.
That kind of drew your attention.
I was kind of
So
thinking that too, so.
as you go up to the desk, you find that it does appear to have a locked drawer.
Say no more. Say no more. Looking for my tools.
Oh, also, I can't see.
Moonzik
You're not in
Moonzik
here.
spits into both hands,
Oh,
says, "Open sesame!"
+5 thanks to the thieves' gloves. That is a 24.
With a 24, you know that immediately this lock was more difficult than what you expected to be out of a simple drawer. For out of game turns, the DC was 20.
Oh my
Oh.
god!
Okay. Good
This
we had
is-
Moonzik doing it.
This is a
It did-
locked drawer.
Yes. Clearly it wasn't designed, it was designed not to let anybody inside of it. But as you open the drawer with, your incredible skills, you find 3 doses of itching powder, 2 vials of liquid that seem suspicious, and 2 draughts of an elixir.
How convenient.
So that's three itching potions or itching powders.
So itching powder itself is something that people would be aware about. It's not like it's hard to find, but it's a fine gray powder that causes targets to suffer from uncontrollable itching as they spend at least 1 round trying to scratch it and wash it off. Throwing a packet of itching powder is technically would have a range of 10 feet. And anyone standing in that area must succeed on a Constitution save. While and if they fail, basically, there's a bit more to it. But if the creatures that fail to save take a -2 penalty on attack rolls, saving throws, skill checks, and ability checks until they wash the powder off. This is considered a poison.
Then there were 2 mysterious liquids, and what was the other one?
And then the other one was an elixir.
It was just 1, right?
There's two doses. Excuse me,
Okay.
two doses of an elixir.
Mysterious elixir. Okay.
I will just let you, if you want to, bring these down to Edward. He can investigate.
I was going to bring them down and have him identify. But before that, he is going to come over and open this door here and just continue investigating.
Okay. As you make your way in through a bookshelf-lined hallway that seems to be punctuated by tall windows and a couple of chairs. Glancing through, you find books on advanced mathematics, magical theory, history, anthropology, and particularly alchemy.
Do any of them stand out for any reason or another?
Nope.
Okay.
Just seems to be a library.
Well, he'll just walk down the stairs and then rejoin his friends.
Fantastic. Alrighty. Let me make it so that you rejoin them.
I didn't find any
You find-
additional clues, but And he's going to hold up the items that he found. I found a couple different liquids, and then these here, this looks like an itching powder. Edward, I think if you put these in different jars, you could use them as a catapult attack.
Oh, no question. That was the first thing I thought of, is what would happen if I flung this at someone? Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is what did you find? Any clues relating to Flynn or the disappearance?
No additional clues than what we've already seen upstairs, but these were inside a really rather difficult locked drawer in his desk. So, the 2 vials of liquid and then 2 elixirs.
4 in total. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes.
I'm assuming you want me to identify them.
If you would, and then the itching powder you can hold on to as well. I know you'll put those
2
in
itching
jars.
powder, you said? 2 itching powders?
3 itching powders.
Here is, while you spend the time to identify these, the elixir you have 2 doses of is the elixir of last will. If a character drinks this gray liquid the next time within 24 hours that they fall below 0 hit points, they exhale a sliver of their consciousness, whether alive or dead. If a character drinks a small flow of whatever, it only one's effective. As an immediate action, the silver can guide the action of one ally within 30 feet of the drinker's body. The guidance gives a +2 bonus on that ally's next attack roll to the ally's AC against the next attack made against them, or on the ally's next skill check. The drinker decides the type of bonus and the ally. The bonus must be used within 1 round.
Wow. That's 2 doses of that?
Yep.
Shit.
Let me get you the itching powder.
So this is 40 minutes straight of identification, by the way. So if we take another... So I identified the chalice, and I identified 4 different items. If we take another 10 minutes, that's a short rest for all of you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that right now.
Short rest?
If we wait another 10 minutes.
Short rest?
The warlock.
Quick,
Short
something.
rest?
Find something else for him to identify quickly.
Or we may maybe just finish the short rest as we leave the building and lock doors behind us.
I was going to
Identify
say,
as
like,
people.
with all this identifying that we're doing, we're basically taking a short rest already.
Yeah.
We're allowed
It's
to
15
leave
minutes out
without.
of the 1 hour required to constitute as a short rest.
All right, I think we've probably spent a lot of time here. We should try and we should let them know what's happened here. Figure out what we know about where to find, and
Well, we
we
didn't
should.
find anything other than clear signs of a struggle and 3 little spine devils in a cabinet.
But Taergyn
And-
himself is not here.
And we've found enough evidence to say that he was worried about somebody targeting him. We should probably go ask who that might be.
I can
Beyond
send
that-
him back, but like I feel like making a trip all the way back here after we literally own the site of where he was, supposed
If you
to
want
be.
to send, that's probably the
Isn't it?
best choice we have.
The next question after that would be, are we going to that village tonight, or are we waiting till tomorrow after the hearing?
I don't know.
What is everyone's thoughts on it?
I'm very worried that we might be getting wrapped up in something that will cause me to not be able to make my appointments.
Perhaps,
Feeling it's all. Go ahead.
perhaps let's wait until the hearing. Until after the hearing tomorrow, and Brian, if you need to stay in Nicodranas, the rest of us can head out to the village.
I'm also really worried that every second we waste, we lose the chance of finding this guy alive.
I have a feeling that this might be linked to something else.
It could very may well be.
And by that something else, I mean the lighthouse. That is two missing people in Nicodranas in a short span of time.
Both powerful individuals.
I
Wait,
still
you said
think we
this?
should at
You
least
said
check
the
every
blood
room.
was from like a day ago?
Yes.
How long ago was the lighthouse incident?
It was
Exactly yesterday.
yesterday.
What if they occurred at the same time?
It's entirely possible.
And furthermore,
And if that's the case, it's not coincidental. Well, it would be
It was a
coincidental, but it would be
targeted
What?
attack.
it would be coincidental, but highly suspect.
Very
and
likely that it was a
given that
coordinated
this
attack.
is a rich area, don't you think it's odd nobody noticed anything? You know, unless they were all the attention was taken by something much, much bigger?
Wasn't there a servant's quarters as well?
There was.
Do you think we
We
should go
should go check
investigate
that.
over there?
Yes.
We should go.
Let's go investigate.
Brian is
Well-
rushing over.
Okay, so just 1 second before I'm just gonna do some clerical stuff real quick. Itching powder. Information
Okay.
on that. This fine gray powder causes target to suffer uncontrollable itching. You can read that. I basically read it already to you. An important note that I didn't mention before is that it is a craftable item. Edward.
What's it called?
Itching powder.
Itching. Oh, I mean the other one.
No, it is able to be crafted.
No, the other draught. We had 2 different draughts and 3
It's-
itching powders.
It's in your journal.
The other mysterious liquid in the vials.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wasn't sure what you were talking about. So. Additionally, the come on, fucking thing's not wanting to go. The other thing that you have is something called a liquid blade. You will note that this is a very similar effect, as in fact it is the exact same effect as to what happened to Brian. Not the exact same, but you get the point.
Pretty damn close.
Yes. So let me
And 2 of these, you said?
yes. I mean, this is a craftable item with alchemy tools. There you go. Show 2 players. So you can empty the contents of this palm-sized metal tube with a quick flick of your wrist. Ignore the move action. It causes a bubbling transport liquid to instantly solidify into a jagged crystalline blade. While holding the tube, you can then use the crystalline blade as if it were a medium short sword with the fragile quality. The blade lasts for 10 minutes, after which it evaporates. In Brian's case, it's a little different, but
Melted.
leaving nothing behind but the tube. You can add 1 dose of poison to the liquid in the bottle, which acts like applying a dose of poison to a weapon, except it's a full round action. And when the liquid turns into a solid blade, the weapon includes 1 application of that poison. When the blade evaporates, the poison does so as well. This is a craftable item with alchemy tools. One thing you will note, I'll just let you know immediately, is that what's great about liquid blades is that they are blades that can be concealed even when weapons are taken away from you.
Perfect for
you're-
bringing into public events with
Yep.
strict security protocols.
So, just a little side note for that. And you got 2 liquid blades. That's everything I believe that you got up there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
2 elixirs of lost will, 2 liquid blades, 3 itching powder.
Now, as the lot of you, Brian, in a particular rush, make your way to the boop, 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 boop. Ignore that.
What?
I don't know if you saw anything, but you weren't supposed to.
I
No,
didn't see anything.
I choose not to. Do we get a
I
short
saw
rest?
everything.
No, yeah. While you're examining these things, you can take a short rest if you would like.
Yeah. Even if I'm ritual casting?
But if you're doing that, you're going to be taking a short rest before you go investigate the servants' quarters.
So even if I'm ritual casting, does that count as a short rest?
No.
No,
No?
specifically it
Alright,
doesn't.
that's fair.
Brian's in a rush. She's not waiting for the short rest, as stupid as that is.
Anybody following Brian?
Moonzik is following Brian.
Fantastic. You
So is Soren.
approach the. So Soren's also following. I'm just gonna move you up here. Leaving Edward all alone to ritually cast his spell.
What? I see.
Joke's on you. In 60 minutes, I'll have all my hit dice rolled.
No, because you're
Uh,
ritually casting. We just went over this.
Yeah, fair enough.
As you approach the servants' quarters, there's an eerie silence that fills the air.
Well, this should be rather quick. I don't even know if we need to open any doors. Just knock on the door. If they come out, we're good. If they're not there, well, we probably know what happened. I'm gonna knock on the door.
Yep.
You knock on the door, and there's no answer. But that feeling, Brian, and for Soren, tickles the back of your neck.
Is the door open?
The door is unlocked.
Not so sure we want to try it.
Why not?
I have the exact same feeling I had when we were near the cupboard.
No, different time.
So then what was the feeling you were talking about on the back of my neck?
That was when you were outside. That you were missing something.
Hmm. Sorry, I
Soren's gonna
misunderstood.
try the door.
One more time, say that again.
Oh god, that's terrifying. He said he was gonna try the door. And you said one more time. Ah.
Oh, sorry. As you open the door.
He's gonna try and turn the knob.
You
And
turn
if
the
it does turn, he's gonna do one of those turn push, but stay standing where he is.
There's
Okay.
always the
He's gonna
turn
like
with the
push the
knee
door
on.
in, but if it comes out, if it swings towards him, he's gonna take a step back and pull it.
Um, the door is unlocked, and as you kind of put your back up against the wall, and the door swings open, you see, just glancing through for those who are back a little bit further, inside this small house, there are two simple wooden doors that close off something, and a small table with two rocking chairs fill this main room. Seated in the chairs are two emancipated, motionless figures, appearing to
I'm
have been dead for several days.
I'ma just
So they're
close the door
confirmed
with
dead.
Mage Hand.
You're gonna close the door?
With Mage Hand.
Okay. You
Look,
close the door.
I don't know what killed them, but I'm not sure, sir. I want to do any of this without Edward, just in case.
Shall we wait for him then? Because I would like to find out how they deceased.
I agree. Yeah, let's wait for him.
Did we ever take a look at what was on the other side of this door here?
Where?
Like going in and going into this part of the house right there, that corner room?
No, we didn't.
We can investigate in there at least while we're waiting for Edward.
Yeah.
You go back into the house and you come across a kitchen. There's an aroma of cooked lamb that's lingering in the air, but otherwise the kitchen is unremarkable.
Hmm.
Orphans seem to be dead for several days. Or that's at least what it looked like from a glance, right?
It seems like it's a pantry or kitchen or what have you.
How do I still smell lamb? Oh well. Um,
Is there anywhere in specific? I almost said Pacific. Anywhere in specific that the smell is coming from, or is it just wafting in the room?
Lingers in the kitchen area.
Okay. It's not like coming from like a crock pot or anything of the sort.
Nope. Well, okay, yeah. So there's a lamb and potato pie that's sitting on the far corner on the table.
Hmm.
Is it warm?
No,
I feel like you didn't need to ask that question.
I just wanted to make sure.
it's an
If
interesting question. The smell is
if
lingering. The
if
timeline's
she would
obviously
have
a
said
little
yes, you know, if Emily would have said yes, I would have been like,
That's fair. That's
the,
fair.
the,
mimic.
the spook. The spook.
Mimic food.
Mimic?
Food mimic? Is it gonna eat me?
As Edward finishes up, we're just gonna adjust things for narrative's sake. As Edward finishes up his
Soren's going to stare at the pie for 35 minutes straight, and that's going to finish my casting time.
Now he's gonna warm it
And-
with produce flame.
Oh, good
And if that's
lord.
the case, we would hit short rest from
We
what
all
we've
would.
talked about. Yeah.
fantastic.
So I get back my spell slot.
I do too.
I do too. Wait.
Get
As
wrecked,
the long
loser.
Okay. Want to give a big thank you to our second sponsor of the day, Sky Zephyr's 5e Combat Overlay Kickstarter. Woohoo! Presented by a homie and the dude. Of course, here, let me do this. Despite their adorable appearance, Cloudbee workers should be treated with the utmost caution. If you are perceived by a threat by one, then you can almost guarantee that a swarm of Cloudbee warriors will come buzzing down on you at any second. Ships flying through dense clouds have been known to collide with hidden Cloudbee hives by accident, resulting in severe hull damage and heavy crew casualties when the angry queen comes out in force. Sky Zephyr's combat overlay will allow you to have ship battles and swashbuckling adventures without having to leave the comfort of your favorite 5e D&D settings. They set out to create a fun, simple yet dynamic system that complements and doesn't overwhelm traditional 5e player combat. If this sounds like fun to you, please support the Kickstarter project when it does go live. They are currently waiting on 1,000 people to follow the Kickstarter before it does go live, so be sure to follow the project. You can follow the project by going to any of the associated descriptions to follow the links. That'll take you right there to the page, and click the little save button to make sure that you get notified when it does go live. Dozens of pieces of original artwork, dozens of custom sky-based feats, dozens of spells, creatures, and magic items, and so much more. You definitely don't want to miss out on this Kickstarter. Back into the game. Let's change the tune. So, the lot of you find yourselves standing outside of the door of the servants' quarters, ready to investigate a few bodies that were seen just at a glance inside. Moonzik, as you reach your hand out and open the door, you get a much better view of what is on the inside.
He's going to take a cautious step in.
Taking a cautious step in, you see in the two seated chairs are emancipated and motionless figures, having appeared, as I had said before, to be dead for several days.
Munzik, you previously stated the bloodstain within the bedroom upstairs was only about a day old. But despite all of that, these bodies look like they've been dead for more than that. How does this fit into the grand scheme of things in the whole events that happened at this particular estate? If the servants have been dead longer than longer than what we would assume the master would be.
What I'm guessing is that the servants were killed and their bodies were hidden. I'm guessing they didn't have to be hidden very well, considering that they're here. And I'm guessing the people that attacked them took on their identities, or at least their likeness, and carried on their rule until they were ready to attack Taergyn.
Still no sign of them specifically?
No. I'm guessing
You
if
think
they,
we should
if they
continue looking
abducted Taergyn, then my
Sorry.
guess is that they probably fled with him to somewhere along with the lighthouse keeper. That is what our assumption is. That's what our theory is.
I have a question I don't love having to ask. How long do you think an animated corpse could operate while looking mostly human?
I'm gonna turn to Soren.
Wow.
Don't look at me. I don't know that information.
I'm guessing it would depend on the magic used to animate them.
But in
Yes.
this case, I'm wondering if these aren't perhaps as dead as we'd like them to be. And I'm gonna tap it with Mage Hand.
I was gonna say,
You see, it reflectively moves with your tap.
Yikes! Nope.
Like, as in, it moves the way I'd expect it to, or like it is
Or
animated?
Moonzik grab.
It is animated, but you see when your mage hand touches the body, it is moving of its own accord, but it's still making no movement to attack you. If that's what you're curious.
or is it possible that these just are the servants?
But you think that... I mean, that would explain why the house is so perfectly clean.
And it explain the
I mean,
small.
my question.
And it explain the small living quarters for these servants as well.
Why provide them any at all if they can't enjoy them?
From your experience, these are not small living quarters. This is standard, if not slightly larger than some places.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, if you reference back to
Firewatch. Even.
Yeah.
if you reference back to Firewatch, if you reference back to wow, my brain's real slow, but the house with the worms.
Oh,
Fuck that place.
This
But
is
yeah.
actually even larger than those.
the judge's wife's party. Well, you didn't specify, but it's the judge's wife's associate that she went to the party for.
Basically.
And never came back.
I's grandmother.
Yes.
Yep.
While we're investigating in here, if they're not going to attack us, let's continue investigating, but also be cautious.
Moonzik, as
Very
you
well.
step deeper into the room, I presume,
Mm-hmm.
to let your patriots in. What would you like to do?
He's going to open this left door over here.
Okay. Is anybody else following?
Yes,
Yep.
Soren's gonna keep a close eye on the bodies.
Across.
Okay. Making your way inside. Keeping a close eye on the bodies. You open up the door to the leftmost room. Inside, you see a small bed, a few like a dresser of sorts, and a side table. Would you like to investigate?
Sure.
Fantastic. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
7.
You go up to the bed first, And you see that it is that there's nothing underneath it. And you open up the dresser, and there's a variety of loose things, you suppose. A change of simple clothes, a jar of something, a month's wages, pretty basic stuff.
I'm just gonna step back out. He's gonna look at these two and he's going to say, "Do you two still speak?"
Their motionless bodies stare into nothing.
If you can at least understand me, nod your head.
They motionlessly stare into nothing. Like the corpses they are.
Interesting. Brian, do you want to take a look inside that room?
Brian's. Can I do something instead of that? Because Brian's much more concerned about the two corpses in front of her.
Absolutely.
Would Brian have any knowledge as to what necromantic abilities could cause this?
Go ahead and roll me a Arcana check.
Gentle repose?
No. Not by itself,
I'm
at
having
least.
some app problems. Give me a second.
Would you like me to roll for you?
Please.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do an Arcana check for Brian. That's a crit
Ha!
Alright.
with
Okay.
a total of 25.
Thank you for rolling for me.
Yeah, you're
Pretty good.
welcome. With a total of 25, there are multiple different ways that somebody could have an effect as this. Given, and you're gonna make a few leaps of logic here.
Okay.
Given the nature of Flynn's experiments, right? The alchemical nature of things. There's a chance, and not a small one, that something in regards to a potion, something along those lines could absolutely cause this effect. Not that you're necessarily saying he himself experimented on them and caused their undeath, but it's definitely possible. Looking at these two corpses, they've been dead for days. An interesting note about them as well is that one of them, like they both appear to look old. Not a young servant who would easily be able to keep up with the ins and outs of cleaning a house, but rather much older. One of them looks progressively older than the other one. This one, the male. And it strikes you as odd. There would be a way alchemically for certain that could put a stopper on aging. But there's something about it that tickles you, that you're making, again, this jump, right? Like it jumping to conclusions about um, about their age being a factor.
I hate to have the idea that perhaps our friend who controls the mansion very much created them.
And what do you think happened to him?
I think he is. I think we should bring this information to his friends. This kind of knowledge isn't come by easily. They might have a lead as to where we should go.
Well, I mean, aside from the entire upstairs study that's been ransacked, do you think there's any more notes?
We need to go to. We need to go to the village now. No time to explain. Come.
All right.
Understood.
Right
Let's
now.
get the horses. Brian, you're okay with leaving Nico Dronas?
We don't have a choice.
All right, let's go. So actually, we're going to. Some things came up. We're not going to be doing that part at the moment. There's a couple things we have to do before that. So we're going to end things off right here. Thank you all so much for watching this session of Wilds of Wildemount on YouTube. Drop a link below, drop a comment if you have any feedback you want to provide. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date on what's coming out on my YouTube channel. Wilds of Wildemount is going to be updated almost weekly. I do have another thing that I am planning to do once I gain more confidence in it. I'm not going to spoil what that is quite yet. But that will be coming in the near future. Otherwise, go check out the links down below. The first one's going to be for my Twitch page. The second one's going to be for our Sky Zephyrs promo from Homie and the Dude. And our third one is going to be to describe with the appropriate link, and make sure to use code WOW in all capital letters to get a discount on your subscription. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next session. Have a good night, everybody.